Hello, hello. Welcome to the City of Healing. This is Angela. Hope everyone is doing well this beautiful Wednesday evening. Sitting out here on my deck and just enjoying the view of trees surrounding me and peaceful. And reminiscing on Sunday when I came out here to bring my dogs out here. The whole deck was, I didn't realize it until I fell, was very slippery. I just took one step and I just landed on my knees into a split. And I was just so upset with myself. I was like, what in the world? I have no idea. It was probably a combination of pollen and the morning dew. And I just fell directly on my knee. I was like, man, I'm sitting on the ground and my dog's looking at me like, wow, you fell. Are you okay? And just sat there for a few minutes, and I thought, I really hope that, I didn't break something. But I finally got up, and I was hopping a little bit Sunday and a little bit Monday, but the next day, Tuesday, I was perfectly fine. So I didn't break anything or pull anything, luckily. But anyway, I just wanted to come forth and do a brief share. And by the way, these candles, Woodwick, they are so great. I love the way they smell. I like to put them on my fireplace. They have the wood wick, and it makes this woodsy sound. I don't know if you ever heard, but this one is one of my favorite scent actually. Fireside, redwood, sandalwood, clove. I love fireside, that type of candle. And I love sandalwood. That's one of my favorite oils and favorite scents. But this smells so good and it makes this beautiful sound. So I'm gonna put it here. So maybe you hear it. It sounds like a crackling fireplace. Anyway, I wanted to come forth and talk a little bit about the bloodstone or the blood-like stone, which is hematite, if you don't know about it. But hematite, I consider this the protective stone. It's a bloodstone because it's like 70% iron oxide, and that's what our red blood cells are made up of, right? It's iron. And so we need that. And blood, as they say, is red. And red represents warrior. And so this hematite is sort of the energy of the warrior spirit, the protective spirit. And that's why in ancient times it was taken to war with soldiers for protection, their protective energy. And also in ancient Egypt, they used to crush it and sprinkle it inside the sarcophagus, the, the coffins rather, or sarcophaguses of, you know, the bodies of the deceased, because of course the tombs were raided a lot, so it was supposed to protect the bodies and their belongings from being robbed. And so hematite has been around for thousands and thousands of years. It's one of the oldest, hear the owl, one of the oldest stones, and it's really a mineral. And on the outside, it looks now, because it's been polished, it's like a kind of a rough, shiny stone, black, gunshot metal gray. And but when you crush it or you scratch it, you'll see red. Did you just fly from there to there? I hear you. And you crush it and it's red. So they call it the bloodstone because of that red property. You flew back over there. I hear you. Sorry. And this protective spirit. I hear you. And that's why it's the protective stone, because of that warrior energy spirit that it allows us to to have. And it's also associated with the planet Mars. And that's pretty significant because it actually proves that there was some type of life if water was there at some point or somehow, and even now, because it was found on parts of Mars. And that is the significance of it being the protective stone to protect you from negative energies, from war, and it really draws in or repels negative energy and draws in positive energy. Is the purpose of this stone, for the protective property of it. And I first got this stone maybe 2 years ago. It's probably my second stone I ever got, and I say I feel protected, of course, but it's also considered a healing stone. And in ancient times, they used it a lot for, of course, pigmenting things because of the red properties of it, and also for circulatory problems, heart problems, joint and bone problems. Um, and we have to remember with anything that we are the crystal, we are the mineral, we are the stone. And these crystals and minerals are basically tools that we use to bring in the energy that the properties that it allows us to use as a tool. So I just want to make sure that we understand that aspect of it. So without you, the crystal or the stone or the mineral won't be able to help you, of course, right? And also, it's a very grounding stone. And that's one of the main things I use it for because sometimes when we're getting into this new spirituality, we get too spiritual and we forget that we're here on this planet. And this hematite is a earthy stone, and it keeps us grounded, associated with the root chakra, to help us get in touch with us while we're here on this planet. And it's heavy and it's magnetic, and it keeps us here. So that's the purpose, of it being grounding. If you're going to meditate, if you meditate like me, I've always tell people, I don't go or astral project or meditate or find it hard to just imagine things. So I have to make sure I stay grounded, and this is one thing that will help you do that, because it's not good to stay, too so spiritual and forget that you're on this earth for a purpose, and you need to stay connected, really. And this stone, I believe, will help do that, and it has for me. And I keep it on my nightstand along with other dark protective stones as well, like black tourmaline, etc. And I also keep my moldavite there, but it's not as close to me as my protective stone and my hematite, because like I mentioned before, that moldavite is a sneaky stone. So you have to be really careful, because it's very spiritual, and it can take you places if you put it on your forehead like I have. If you haven't seen that video on the moldavite update, you should check that out, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So those are the properties, some of the properties that I have had experiences and read some about of the benefits of this mineral, this stone that's 70% iron oxide. And also keeping in mind that it's shiny because we polish it, of course. But even when it's not polished, it's still shiny. And that meaning significant that it is reflective and allows us to look at ourselves, to look within, and to allow us to connect with ourselves and understand ourselves, and understand that as above, so below, and so within, so without. So whatever we encompass as our energy is the energy that we're gonna receive within us as well. So it, is a reminder to, look at yourself. When you think something else is a negative situation, you have to really look at yourself and try to benefit or understand that you have total control of manipulating that energy as well and turning it into a positive, you know. So these are some of the benefits and some of the uses that or experiences that I've had with hematite, the bloodstone, the blood-like stone, used for thousands and thousands of years for many benefits, for protection, for grounding, to remind us to be here now, and for healing, you know. And remember, we are the stone, we are the crystals. We just have to use these as tools, because everything is energy, and we are in total control. Anyway, I just wanted to come forth and just do a brief share on this, on crystals, and I'll do more. And there's a stone that's associated with that I haven't had much experience with, but I'm planning on purchasing it at some point, and that's sunjite. And it looks a lot like it, but I find that it's a little bit more expensive. This right here is very affordable. I think maybe I paid $15 for this, maybe. And it came with the stone, I believe. But, sunjite will probably be like $30 if I got something like this. Just FYI. But I'll purchase that and talk to you about that. Anyway, thanks for visiting the city, and stay protected, stay grounded, and continue to heal. Take care.